Dear cheapskates. Day in a day of life, a day in the day of Dave, the life of Dave. Any of those will work. The guy playing the music has left. He was not homeless or near homeless. He has a really nice mobile scooter chair thing. Or at least it's very clean, shiny, looks brand fucking new, so I don't think he's homeless. But I could be wrong, who knows? Anyways, back to reading the reincarnation letter from Dear Tony. If you continue this path for a few thousand years, a few things would be expected to happen, I think, Tony. I could easily see that first person becoming some sort of medicine man, slowly accumulating knowledge about their flora and fauna, including how to process and use for healing. I don't think I did a final comment check on this. Grace. I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna just go back, talk to Grayson, so it's easier. Logically, the apes would eventually use tools and weapons to both protect and advance their tribes, while other tribes may use those newly developed weapons against other tribes or to hunt large animals. Any of these progressions in either basic needs or fostering and caring for the young of the group would increase their population and individual strength. This is like a essay for me to get into anthropology school. Alternative Theory to Man, Reincarnation by David J. By feeding their community with less effort, the amount of free time for the hunters to plan their next hunt, relax, or fuck each other would increase. The ability to plan their next meal instead of desperately looking daily would ignite the creative juices too. I think, Tony, or maybe I'm wrong. I know your friend Joe Rogan likes the stoned ape theory as the cause of the human brain evolution and expansion. But if the size of the brain has a relationship with the level of knowledge or ability stored within the gray matter, my theory also works. The sentence doesn't work, but it doesn't matter. Just gonna get through this for whatever reason. Guys besides me are having a way more interesting conversation than this, I'll tell you that. My theory, each reincarnation requires a slightly larger brain, maybe only 1 cubic millimeter bigger each time, nothing noticeable unless you tracked it over 100,000 years. I think it's equally as plausible as the magic mushroom concept, Tony. Although I do like the idea of the great apes tripping their balls off on mushrooms. Or maybe it's both. Maybe the shaman ape or maybe it's both. Maybe the shaman ape, since he's been doing them for hundreds of reincarnations, understands and can handle the effects without freaking out. However, everyone else has bad trips and avoids them like the plague, or in this case, like the lions, or whatever can kill an ape, besides other apes and us. I have a theory which I haven't named yet, although I'll probably use something with my name in it, like physicists. I'm not sure why they feel the need to use names for equations, Tony. It seems illogical for a group of individuals trying to determine the nature of the universe. I would have expected more technical or descriptive names. Schrödinger equations and wormholes mean nothing to normal humans. What is a Schrödinger, and how do worms make holes in space. I'll temporarily call it the Gervais philosophy of reincarnation, GPR. Why not pump up my own ego? Actually, in that DSM-6, there could probably be a picture of David and then beside him, Ricky. See, Ricky can call his listeners cunts and whatnot because he doesn't need the money, he doesn't care. But I believe GPR also explains both the development and the variety of languages spoken around the world. Eventually some ape turned a grunt into a hi, or a long hum into I love you. The concept and the words, Tony. By the way, this is also a movie idea. For sale. Just become a founder and we get a share of the profits. At one point, that offer will be turned off. Or another zero added to it. Whatever. I guess everyone just hates pizza. I wish guilt worked. It also explains why some aspects of humans are universal. Laughing, crying, screaming in pain, or fear sound the same in every human. You can't tell a heritage from a person's laugh, from hearing a person laugh. At least I can, Tony. Maybe you can. You're the professional when it comes to laughter. And also, thanks to Oprah, I also found out babies can speak 5 different words with sounds, different grunts. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It's probably just AI creating that video to trick me into thinking kids can talk like a joke. Multiply GPR by a few 100,000 years. It's not surprising we evolved as we have, both in body and mind. Would my previous chimp hand be able to type 100 words per minute? I doubt they possess the physical dexterity, although to be fair, they would have had the strength to crush my head like a peanut, and sometimes I have to push hard to break a peanut shell open. So I'm not sure which is better when you're hungry. With GPR, history begins to make sense. The rise and fall of humanity would naturally occur as various nations developed technologies to either kill or help each other. Then at some point, before they invented telescopes and the method and math to track asteroids or comets heading towards Earth, they were wiped out by impact and forced to start over. A setback, but not the end of humanity. However, when all those wiped out are returned via reincarnation, they have a chance to plan for the next big one and come up with a possible solution. Maybe live underground, or live partially underground. If I correct, Tony, probably meant if I'm correct, Tony, this explains why there are large underground man-made caverns around the world. It may even explain the large complexes governments continue to build underground and fail to inform their citizens regarding their existence. Or maybe the politicians are just cunts and planning on using those hollowed out mountains for themselves. I don't care, Tony. If the asteroid hits, I'll look it dead in the eyes. There you almost it. Beautiful picture. Dad and his daughter out for a holiday Monday walk. Can't take it, no cameras. Too bad. You'll lose out. Call this a blackmail podcast. Well, I'm not really blackmailing anyone yet. Although I could. Actually, I think it's extortion if it's monthly. Whichever. Call the cops, see if I care. I don't care, Tony. If the asteroid hits, I'll look it dead in the eyes. Now tell me that isn't a beautiful movie shot. I'm just sitting where I am right now. Blue sky, gorgeous day. I look up, see a bright, glowing ball in the sky heading towards me. I look, camera slowly zooms in so tight in my eyes that you can see the reflection of the meteor or Atlas comet, whatever the fuck it is, coming directly for me. And I'm the center of impact. Boom. Beautiful movie. I suspect you're wondering, Tony, if GPR is true, then why don't we currently have access to our past memories? This is where the limit of the human brain comes into play. With all these reincarnations, we've filled up our capacity quicker than we can expend our brains. Language, education, the printing press all filled our memory banks lifetime after lifetime until there was no more room to learn and only the ability to live remained. At this point in our history, our past lives became more like our subconscious. The memories are there, but we're not sure how to access directly, or if they are there, but combined into something I'll call reincarnated morals. The past lives become a part of your thought process and your personality. The past lives become a part of your thought process and your personality, whether you like it or not. I believe this is our current predicament, which on a whole isn't a problem. Life is pretty good on this planet for the majority of the population, but not everyone. God damn it, this guy's gonna try and end homelessness again. Since I don't remember writing this, I can't take credit for it. Even though I think it's a fucking brilliant movie idea. Or it could just be thrown into the school of comedy. Make this a big dream sequence for Tony. That's what he wants anyways. Or maybe it's Tony going through all of his past lives, determining why he's the second funniest man on the planet. After me, of course. I believe this is our current predicament, which on a whole isn't a problem. Life's pretty good on this planet for the majority of the population, but not everyone. The one achievement no race, nation, or species has ever accomplished on Earth, Tony, is an accurate record of history. See, I thought he was going for homelessness. I think it's impossible via the written word. As a professional writer yourself, I think you would agree words are open for interpretation. As a comedian, you strive for the perfect word in a bit, for the biggest laugh, correct? Because you are a writer, you understand the power of each word, the impact it has on your next and the previous. You control your audience's laughter accordingly, or as you please. You are their laughter puppet master for the minutes you are on stage. And a lot of this is what I call sentence dyslexia. It should be for the minutes on stage, you are their laughter puppet master. However, how well do you think your comedy or Jared Nathan's will be remembered in history if there's only a written account of it in a language not used for 200 generations? Would you or Jared still be funny? What if there are no autistic, globally delayed people in 200 generations? Can you as a writer accurately describe Jared? I couldn't. I wouldn't try. I was seeing, hearing, and feeling his performance, but I wouldn't try. But without seeing, hearing, and feeling his performance, it's lost in history. I don't believe in history because at some point someone invented fiction, but didn't bother to label it as fiction. And without video proof in my current native tongue, I'm not a believer in any story written anywhere, including my own. I'm not a believer in any story recorded anywhere, anyhow, including my own. Who decides what's fiction, Tony? The historians, the experts who've told the same story of humanity for the last 150 years? I'm sure they are well-meaning, but unless they were there, remember their past lives fully, and can not only talk about their past life, but they can also read, write, and speak their past languages perfectly, I don't buy the historian's narrative. Yep. They are guessing. We are all guessing. Nobody on Earth is intelligent enough to figure out the pyramids, and at this point I doubt we ever will without opening our minds and working together. We live in an age where the bulk of human knowledge is available online, but I've never heard of a project to protect that information or make it globally available in case of a disaster. I understand it's impossible to quickly or easily house 8 billion people underground. If we do find an object heading to Earth quicker than we can figure out a way to deflect or destroy it, I personally would support the initiative. I personally wouldn't support the initiative. What I would support is a technology that would withstand nearly any impact and be available to whatever humans remain after the impact. That's the movie idea, The Cube. Ouch! Basically, all my movie ideas are sprinkled through this. I guess a letter to Tony Hinchcliffe. Maybe all those Starlink satellites, maybe all those Starlink are sending into space could also contain storage devices. Back of the internet, just in case, or maybe for once. Pause to take a picture of a crack pipe. Right, I'm going full reptile. Face into the sun. Or maybe for once, Elon Musk isn't responsible for good ideas and the government or some other billionaire decides to send a zettabyte of storage into orbit or deep underground or anything. What is our backup plan on this planet? We don't have one, Tony. Pray to God or hope the aliens show themselves seems pointless as believing in reincarnation to me, Tony. I like the Starlink idea better. The millions of devices could still access the data, and humans around the world could still communicate to slowly build or rebuild whatever remains of society. I'm not saying the survivors would start making printed circuit boards immediately, but maybe a survivor in Canada with engineering skills could help a survivor in Sweden build a water mill. Or maybe direct others to safer parts of their country if available. The options are endless if we have the data and communication. Without it, life becomes a caveman existence, a life we are currently not physically or mentally prepared to survive. With the exception of Joe and his survivalist buddies, Joe would probably continue his podcast from the safety of his underground lair, most likely built by his buddy Elon. Plus, as an added bonus, if I live, I could still watch old episodes of Kill Tony with my phone and a solar panel, assuming the sun isn't blocked and we are all not dying. Assuming the sun isn't blocked and we are all not dying from carbon monoxide poisoning. With GPR, none of this backup is needed, Tony. The only thing required is time. Everyone who died with the knowledge required to rebuild society would eventually be reborn, and upon maturity or when they're old enough to understand their wealth of knowledge floating around their head, they could once again become what they were before and use their skills to rebuild. It would be slower, and no, I wouldn't be able to watch Jared for a laugh, but eventually I could see a new chapter of humanity. Is this what happened in the past, Tony? Did reincarnation save us? I don't know. I doubt it. But if we have a theory about apes and magic mushrooms, why not my concept? What I failed to explain yet in my GPR theory is why 99.99% of the population currently can't remember their past lives. including the crazy guy behind me, or why the 0.01% who claim to remember their past lives are crazy as fuck. The first is easy. We don't remember because we've reincarnated so many times, there's simply too many memories to hold in our limited capacity brains. And because we've been programmed to believe it's impossible to access our past memories, most people don't bother to try, or they fear the crazy label for trying. The guy's probably just living another lifetime in his head. I realize my GPR theory is unlikely, Tony, but I'm tired of wondering why this world is no longer advancing. We're the geniuses of the past now. If they reincarnated, shouldn't it be easy for the new Einstein and the new Freud to solve the problems within physics or the mental health of humans? I apologize for the long, non-comedy related email, Tony. Hopefully the next time I can find something funny. But maybe not, because I'm still in my bathroom battle with the cunts at Tim Hortons. I really can't believe they are still closing that fucking bathroom. I was there today on a Sunday and the bathroom is closed. You can drink coffee and eat donuts in Canada, Tony, but you can't take a shit anymore. What kind of fucking country do I live in? I don't know about you, Tony, but I think the old man in the video below deserves a washroom. He's holding a Tim Hortons cup, so clearly he's a customer. But I guess he's not the type of customer Hortons would like to offer a bathroom to. Am I wrong for thinking this is a cunty action, Tony? By the way, this video was from July 1st, Canada Day. This particular location is at 800 Carnarvon Street, number 245, New Westminster, PC, E3M OC3. Send him a letter. Phone number 604-523-1647. Complaints can be sent to via Twitter at twitter.com/Tim Hortons, probably x.com/Tim Hortons now. So I wrote this so fucking long ago, and they're still fucking doing it, I think. At least they were a few months ago. Anyway, thanks for listening, Tony. Please help stop the cunts at Tim Hortons if you can. I tried using Twitter. I posted a few thousand times, but nobody in Canada seems to give a fuck anymore, or can take a shit anymore. Sincerely, David. Previous letters. The BC cannabis store is closed, but man, someone has spoken some very strong 23 minutes. Everything else I have to read does not go along with this. So fuck it. You can just send a complaint to my editor, and he or she will respond accordingly. Happy motherfucking Thanksgiving. End recording, David J.